Hello there. Hold on, because I clapped and it started recording. So, hello there, and welcome to the Wrestling Corner. We are here once again. Yes, it is a Wednesday. I'm doing this. Kind of had some other stuff I wanted to do, but there it is. And we are covering the Forgotten Royal Rumble, as it's known, the Royal Rumble of 2004, because of who won it. That being Chris Benoit, who won that match. And I know, we don't say his name. We don't say his name because of what he did. I get it. I still think that, we should judge, who he was in real life. That's bad. That's terrible. All that. But don't let that take away from all the great stuff he did in the ring. And this is one of those things. He won the Royal Rumble, and I get it. WWE doesn't want to mention his name. I understand that. But you're going to get kids or people who didn't watch wrestling at that point in time, and you'll hear that only two men have ever won the Royal Rumble from number one spot. Remember Shawn Michaels in 1995, and then they just don't mention the other person. People, I wonder who that is, and then they'll search, and then they have to come to the harsh reality of who it was and that stuff. And yeah, I'm trying to. But yes, it is a terrible thing what happened, but they're still not perfectly sure of this. But that shouldn't take away from all the good stuff he did in the ring. You know what I mean? But we are talking about the Royal Rumble 2004, which was the very first WWE DVD I ever bought. I bought it from On Cue, as it was called, or Sam Goody later, in the mall here. It was right over there, the mall, from my place now. And I bought it. And I remember the storylines going into this. I do remember it because I watched SmackDown at the time. Back in this day, SmackDown was on UPN, and they would air on the UPN 7 o'clock Central Time. But then, at midnight Central Time, they would replay it on CBS after the Late Late Show was over, and I would record that on my VCR because we didn't have cable, so I would record that on the VCR to watch that. And that was, no, I did it. Yeah, we had very basic cable back in the day. We had our very, very basic cable. Like we didn't even have up to 25 or whatever. It was not even cable. We just had like an antenna thing. It was channel 2, which was a PBS channel. Channel 3, which was CBS. Channel 6, which was ABC. Channel 10, which was NBC. Channel 15, which is another CBS. Channel 24, which was another PBS. 15 was PBS, 24 was PBS, and 47, which was Fox. And that's all we got. There were some fuzzy ones here and there, but nothing like that. Like, I was glad when Fox started turning up because I could watch my Fox Kids, which I was into at the time. No, Fox Kids was going out at this point, but there was the Fox box, I guess. It was okay. But yeah, and so I would watch on the CBS. I would record it and watch it the next day on Saturday, and and sometimes if I was at my grandma's and a special Raw was gonna happen, I would have her set to record that Raw, and then she would bring me the tape a few days later, and I would watch it then. Back in the day, y'all. But we are doing now. I got the notebook again. I'll have it down here so you can look at it. We start the Royal Rumble with the World Tag Team Championship match. Evolution defending against the Dudley Boys in a tables match. And the story here was that the Dudleys were champions, and then they lost them in Armageddon to Evolution, who added in last minute. And then they're fighting on Raw. So this is the tables match. It's the Dudleys match. And Ric Flair would say later, it's their match in their hometown, which is not true. They're from Dudleyville. Even then, they're from New York, not Philadelphia, which is where ECW is from. So that's probably what it means. But yeah, and this match is pretty good. It's actually pretty fast. Like these first 4 matches are all very quick. Like because they had the Royal Rumble match and they had the World Heavyweight Championship match to do, so they went really fast. And this match is really quick. There's a lot of quick pace. The Dudleys come out. Jonathan Coachman is at ringside with the commentators, Jerry Lawler, JR, and he's like, I'm here. I know that Randy Orton is going to win the Royal Rumble tonight, and I know Triple H is going to defend that, retain the World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm here right now to make sure, I'm here to see the Dudleys give what they deserve. And so he's at ringside with a taped up ribs because he went through a table on Raw, the previous Raw. So that's all set up for this. And the Dudleys are actually in control until Jonathan Coachman gets involved, and they put him through a table, I think. I was making my lunch when this match happened, so there's that. But then this is a distraction. Batista comes in. Well, I think they just hit him with the 3D. I don't know if they put him through a table, but Batista comes in, hits him with a spine buster through the announce tape for the table, Bubba through the table, and the Evolution retains. There's that. Next up, Josh Matthews is interviewing John Cena, who's doing a rap about winning the Royal Rumble. And I can't do the whole rap, but I do remember he's like, and tonight, you can't see me. And tonight, the Royal Rumble goes to, and Rob Van Dam jumps in front of the camera and goes, RVD. Sup, dude? And he walks off. And then John Cena continues to rap, and he's like, looks like he's been messing with Mary Jane. I'm going to rim the Rumble, man. You can suck on my candy cane. And it's like, Ruthless Aggression John Cena. Ruthless Aggression John Cena was something else. You know, this whole rap gimmick. You know, you have to evolve, but, you know, basically economics and all that. Yeah. I'll get to the story of why they're interviewing. Like, they interviewed John Cena here, Chris Benoit later, and Goldberg. There's stories with those as to why they're doing it. So, next, we have the Cruiserweight Championship. Rey Mysterio defending against Jamie Noble with his girlfriend Nydia at ringside. And oh boy, this is a story. So this goes all the way back to late 2003. Jamie Noble, known to be trailer park trash, has inherited a lot of money from a relative. And so he's acting all rich, buying fur coats for Nydia, his girlfriend, and all that. And at one point, he's in a number of contenders match against Tajiri. And Tajiri sprays the green mist, but Jamie Noble either puts Nydia in the way or moves out of the way, and Nydia gets sprayed in the face, which causes her to go blind. And they're doing the blind storyline here. She's coming out, she's blind, she's got like a walking stick, she's still wearing a fur coat, and she can't see a damn thing. Or so you're led to believe. Of course, kayfabe, all that. But in 2004, I thought it was real. But I remember this. And so it's Jamie Noble versus Rey Mysterio. It's a fast-paced match, even though the commentators, Michael Cole and Taz, they talk about how there's different styles. They're both cruiserweights, but Rey Mysterio is the aerial assault guy. He's the one that flip around and jump off the top rope. Jamie Noble, a more ground-based type competitor. So they have that kind of, you know. And I always thought Jamie Noble was a decent competitor. He didn't get much, you know, anything to do. And then how he had his quote-unquote last match. I know he just had his actual last match on a house show. Come on. On a house show? Why couldn't they have it on Raw or something? Like, you just had like the 30th anniversary of Raw. You could have him come out and have a match on that. They didn't. His last match was in a house show. It's, I don't know. It's very weird. But, yeah. Again, fast-paced match. Noble goes for something. Nydia trips him. We're led to believe she thinks that it's Rey Mysterio. Mysterio hits 619. 1, 2, 3. Mysterio retains. Jimmy Noble's yelling at Nydia. Nydia's saying, I thought it was Rey. I'm sorry. I thought it was Rey. I thought it was Rey. And even the commentator's like, what, she thought it was Rey? You know? We later come to find out that actually she could see perfectly fine. And she did this as sort of revenge. And then she put the fur coat in a wood chipper, which I don't think it would work that way. And then eventually have, I think it was a blindfold match at No Way Out. And that was kind of the end of that story. Lydia would later be drafted to Raw and would do absolutely nothing before she was released. Even though when she's drafted to Raw, she'd be like, I can finally go after the Women's Championship. Which it should have been like, they had the women's roster on SmackDown. They didn't do squat because they were just in senseless rivalries. Like you had, Stephanie versus Sable or whatever, and Tori versus Sable, Tori versus Dawn Marie forever. And so there wasn't really anything for their women's roster to do. I'm gonna have to get some drink here. Hold on, let me finish what I'm talking about, because then I'll forget. And there's nothing for the women's roster to do on SmackDown. It was really weird that they even had a women's roster, while the women on Raw were competing for the women's championship. It should have been. They eventually did in like 2008 introduce a women's championship or a Divas title, a title for the females, I should say, for SmackDown. But that's way too late. And then they ended up getting rid of the women's title altogether at that point until the Divas title came in, and then they, how that goes. But they either should have had the women's title be between both brands or introduced a SmackDown women's type title, but they didn't. And yeah. I'll be right back. All right, then. Much better. Next. Next we have a very personal rivalry. Eddie Guerrero versus his nephew, Chavo Guerrero. And this goes back. Eddie Guerrero at one point was the United States champion and the WWE Tag Team champions. He lost the United States Championship to the Big Show. And then he and Chavo lost the WWE Tag Team Championships to the Bastions due to cheating and doing the twin magic, as they would call it, with the Bellas later. Chavo is angry at Eddie for doing this, and this starts a split between them. But Kurt Angle comes in and says, hey, you know what? I'm not going to see one of the greatest tag teams in SmackDown history break up because of, minor squabbles. So they end up getting another tag team title shot, and once again, they lose. And as the Bastions start beating the hell out of Eddie Guerrero, Chavo just sits there with the chair and is watching him, and then proceeds to beat the crap out of him. This escalates to bring in Chavo Sr., Chavo Guerrero's father, Eddie's brother, and then Senior, or Chavo Classic, as he would go on to be known, turns on Eddie Guerrero and joins his son as like a manager, and ends up winning the Cruiserweight Championship down the line. It's really weird. A little more of that after the match, but the whole thing here is that Eddie doesn't want to lose his temper because he wants to beat Chavo, then beat Chavo up. He wants to win the match first, then beat up Chavo. So we have this match, and it's a pretty good match because they're both, great competitors. There's something going around. But, of course, Eddie Guerrero wins this. Chavo Sr. trying to get involved, but Eddie is able to hit the frog splash, get the 1, 2, 3. And, yeah. I didn't want to talk too much about the match because I want to talk about what happens after the match. Because after the match, during the match, there's times where Eddie has a closed fist and he's going to be told the referee, hey, no, don't, because he wants to do it. And they emphasize on commentary, he has to keep his cool because he just wants to win first, then beat him. They keep going for that. They're telling the story, stuff like that. Very good storytelling. After the match, Eddie wins, and he just, first of all, kicks Chavo Classic in the nuts, knocking him down. And then he handcuffs him to the ring, and then beats the holy hell out of Chavo. Chavo's bleeding. He's scraping it like, look at your baby, look at him. Just going nuts. And this would start Eddie Guerrero's crawl towards the WWE Championship. Although I'm still not 100% sure it was supposed to be that way. Even though it looks like Eddie turned heel here, I think it's more of a justified attack on the guy that attacked him. So he wasn't really heel, but, and Chavo would also get his own push, of course, after this. Chavo at No Way Out, just like Eddie, would get the Cruiserweight Championship, beat Rey Mysterio, and then go on to defend that in a Cruiserweight Open at WrestleMania, and later would be in a triple threat match with himself, his father, and Spike Dudley. And thinking it was a sort of a handicap situation, Chavo Classic would win the match and become Cruiserweight champion. And yeah, Rey Mysterio would end up winning the match, winning the championship from him, and then Spike Dudley winning after that. Yeah, it was weird. So we have interview with Chris Benoit, the number one entrant, which I'll explain when we get to the Royal Rumble itself. But how you gonna do this? I'm going to, before you can even say anything, Ric Flair and Evolution come in and spraying Josh Matthews with the friggin' with the champagne, and Ric Flair's like, let me tell ya, you have one of those. You're the greatest technical wrestler, but every time you get to the top, you choke. You get up there, you see the brass ring, but you can't grab it. Woo! And at one point, he sprays the champagne in his own face, and he's not even looking at him. Really, it's, second best, the whole thing, and yeah. Ric Flair is a character, man. Okay, now, excuse me, time for the WWE Championship match. It is Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against Hardcore Bob Holly. And here's the story. Back in September of 2002, back in September of 2002, let's try that again. Bob Holly got legitimately injured with a broken neck. And he continued to wrestle a bit after that, but they're like, okay, you're injured, you gotta go out. And he was out for a year. A year of his career gone. And he came back late 2003 to get revenge on Lesnar. And he was in the Survivor Series 2003 match on Team Angle versus Team Lesnar. Angle was a babyface at that time. And, he eliminated himself, I guess, because he got disqualified. So this sets up this match for the WWE Championship. And right from the get-go, Hardcore does not give two shits about the WWE Championship. He's trying to break Lesnar's neck. He's going nuts. He almost gets disqualified. He almost gets counted out. He's trying to break Lesnar's neck. He doesn't care about the WWE Championship. At one point, he hits the Alabama Slam on Brock Lesnar and doesn't pin him. Instead, he goes for the full Nelson to try to break his neck. And I would have been funny. He was never going to win the WWE Championship. It would have been funny. He's trying to break his neck. He doesn't care about the championship. He's trying to break his neck. Lesnar's like, okay, I'm not going to do this. And taps out, and he gets the championship, and he's just like, I want this. I want to break his neck. He went, he's not trying to win the title, but does anyway. That would be kind of funny. They were never going to give it to him, but it would have been a funny thing to do. It's like, he's not trying to win the title, he's trying to break his neck, and as he's doing it, Lesnar just decides to tap out, and now Holly's got the championship, and he's like, I didn't want this. I didn't want this. I wanted Lesnar. That sort of thing. But it eventually boils down to Lesnar hits an F5. 1, 2, 3. And that's all over. And again, pretty quick match. All four of these, I think by the time we get to this, it's 45 minutes. And then after this, I think I looked either before or after the Eddie Guerrero match. I think it's after the Eddie Guerrero match. It's 43 minutes. And then there's this one. So, yeah. But another quick match. But the quick matches are over, my friends. Yes, sir. I got the owie. Don't pick your nails, kids. All right. Excuse me. It is the last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And now is the time. Now is the time to talk about. The music. I watched this on the Peacock. On the cock. I watched this. I have the original DVD, but it kind of freezes up and skips during the first match. And so I think it's going to be better to watch it on the network. Of course, with these older pay-per-views, they're going to have music that was licensed to them at the time, but not anymore. My opinion is if they licensed it to you, then you should be able to use it. If you can't use it now in live stuff, you should still be able to use it in the other stuff. They license it to you for that specific reason. Oh, they should let you use it for that. Like, there's just generic music playing in the background during stuff. Well, there was, like, I remember a couple of the songs from this better. And there are some times that you could tell, like, it seems like they go to commercial and come back during segments because there's other things. They don't acknowledge the music that's in there, which is probably why they're cutting away, that sort of thing. But, yeah. So the World Heavyweight Championship match, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship, last man standing. Yeah, this goes all the way back to 2002 when Shawn Michaels came back and he fought Triple H. You know, Triple H turned on him. He fought Triple H at SummerSlam, and this is all the way now to 2004. This rivalry is, first of all, taking too fucking long. And in my opinion, this should have been the end of it. This should have been the exclamation point on that rivalry. The ending to this match, though, was not satisfactory, and it just, yeah. And, like the biggest problem with this is that it's for the World Heavyweight Championship. Because it's been very, very much known that Shawn Michaels, when he came back, I mean, he won the WWE Champion, he won a World Heavyweight Championship, but that was not his design. Like, after that first initial win inside the Elimination Chamber, he doesn't hold the world title ever again because he didn't care about that. He just wanted to put on good matches. And so the fact that this is for the world title always kind of dampens it. And it kind of leads to the disappointing ending to this because these two are knocking the shit out of each other. They're both bleeding by the end of this. There's super kicks and pedigrees and spine busters and chairs and just all over the place. There's blood all over the fucking mat. This is a bloody match and it's awesome. It's awesome. Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. I am slowly getting over this damn cold. It's one of those things, it's a phlegm thing. I took a Mucinex earlier. And then when you talk for so long, it gets to you. It does. But anyway, they're beating the holy hell out of each other in this match. They're just, beating all the hell out of each other. And then comes the disappointing ending. At one point, Shawn Michaels, he goes up, he hits the sweet chin music, but falls down. And then the referee counts to 10. As Shawn Michaels is trying to get up, he doesn't make it. And the referee counts to 10, and it's a double count out. I think if this was not a World Heavyweight title match, like, you didn't need the world title for this. You could have the world title on something else. You didn't need the world title for this at all. But you did. You could have had Shawn Michaels win if it wasn't a non-title match. But it's a world title match, so why not have Triple H win the match? Like, why not have him win? I don't understand the double count-out idea. It just doesn't... And like, the people there in attendance booed their asses off at this. Mostly because they wanted Shawn Michaels to win, but Shawn Michaels was never going to win. And I think that's one big problem with this rivalry is Shawn Michaels never wins. Triple H can't put Shawn Michaels over in this rivalry because they go on. Spoiler alert. Shawn Michaels inserts himself into the triple threat match with him and Benoit. Into the world title match, with Triple H and Benoit. For no reason. It wasn't needed, but, because it's in there. And then they do a rematch for that. And then Triple H and Shawn Michaels have a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood 2004 that Triple H still wins. So in the end, Shawn Michaels just can't win against Triple H. But, yes, so that's the end of that. But, yeah. It's time for the 30-man Royal Rumble match. But first, I'm back, and I'm better than ever. Got a knack. Eric Bischoff comes out and says he wants a Raw superstar to win the Royal Rumble, and because Paul Heyman sucks or something like that, Paul Heyman comes out, and I should note that Eric Bischoff is wearing a suit with a red dress shirt, or a red shirt underneath. Paul Heyman comes out wearing a suit with a blue dress-up shirt and a yellow-ass tie on him. And then Paul Heyman just starts beating the hell out of Eric Bischoff. Here comes Stone Cold Steve Austin, who is the sheriff at this point. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin lost his team lost the Survivor Series, so he was supposed to be fired, but he's rehired as a sheriff. And so there's that whole storyline I can hash out later. He comes out and he goes, "Hey, I'm back there trying to watch the Rumble, and you two are out here wasting time." He hits the stunner on Bischoff, shares a beer with Heyman, hits him with a stunner. So now there's beer and blood all over the mat. They cut to the back, and you got Terry interviewing Goldberg, who's got a full-ass beard here, who says he's coming in at number 30 because he won Battle Royal of all the Raw superstars. Something like that. So he's coming in at number 30, and he's going to go there, and he's going to get his world title back. And Brock Lesnar comes in. "No, you're not going to win." He's like, "I'm going to do it." He's like, "The last time I saw you, you were world champion. Now where is it?" He goes, "Well, I don't have a world championship to win the Royal Rumble. Isn't that right, Hardcore?" And Lesnar like jumps out of his shoes. He's not there. And you see like people with a boom mic and stuff. It's like, I don't think you're supposed to pan over there. There's people with technical stuff over there. I don't know. And during this time, they changed the canvas, so it's now clean. But it's time for the Royal Rumble match. And there's stories going into this, okay? John Cena and Chris Benoit wanted to be in the Royal Rumble. Benoit is told by Heyman he's never going to have a WWE Championship match again. Which, where the story goes with this, it kind of doesn't go to that. It doesn't. And so, he and John Cena have to win a tag team match, and they get into the thing, into the match. And Benoit is put number 1. Okay? And then Goldberg won a Battle Royal to become number 30. Okay? And there has been this whole thing all night with Mick Foley was invited by Stone Cold Steve Austin to sit at ringside for the Royal Rumble event itself, and he hasn't shown up. And so now JR and Taz are calling the Royal Rumble, and Taz says, "You know, he's not here. You said if he wasn't here, you call him a coward. He's not here. What are you going to say, JR?" He's like, "Well, he's not here. He's a coward. He's a coward. You know, he's a coward. There, I said it. He's a coward. He's a coward." And yeah, so number 1 is Chris Benoit, of course. But number 2, Evolution is a mystery. Randy Orton, the Intercontinental Champion. I did not get that title out because it's a Royal Rumble match. So Randy Orton, Chris Benoit started this match, and they're going toe-to-toe. Number 3, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, but it threw me off because he comes out to, some Mac Militant come in to get it all. What? Oh, yeah, Mark Henry, because he was being managed by Teddy Long at the time and didn't have his own music yet. Even after this, I think when Teddy Long gets drafted to SmackDown, I think Mark Henry has like a generic kind of thing. Like Paul Heyman's generic theme song he comes out to earlier. But yeah, Mark Henry comes out and whatever. Number 4 is Tajiri. Taz yells out, "The Buzzsaw!" And so he comes out and he's just kicking Mark Henry. And number 5, it's Bradshaw. Shit. Let me try that again. Number 5, look at your watches. What time is it? It's John o'clock, you bastard. That's right, it's Bradshaw. I totally forgot the joke I was going to do and I ruined it. Too bad. I'm not restarting this whole thing, so there it is. Bradshaw comes out and he's eliminated quicker than Hiccup, to quote JR, and he's out. And then number 6 is the man beast, Rhino, who comes out and he's fierce, I actually quote that Chris Benoit is on SmackDown, Randy Orton is from Raw, Randy Orton, Mark Henry are from Raw. Tajiri, Bradshaw, and Rhino are all from SmackDown. Number 7 is Matt Hardy at V1 now. But he wasn't really V1 at this time because he was on Raw now. At this point, got jumped over at this point to Raw, I believe. It must, because it equals out. So he jumped over to Raw, and he's in there. Number 8 is Scott Steiner. Big Papa Pump, the Freak, Zilla, if you will, comes out. At one point, Tajiri sprays Mark Henry in the face with the thing, and he's eliminated by Randy Orton. And then Tajiri is eliminated, and Steiner is eliminated. Matt Morgan comes out at number 9. Who's Matt Morgan? I'll be asking. He is a big blue chipper, as the JR says, and he was on SmackDown for about a hiccup. He was part of Team Lesnar at Survivor Series 2003, and then he would go away, and eventually, later in 2004, he would show up as Carlito's bodyguard after Jesus was fired, sent back to OVW, whatever, and then when Carlito would be drafted to Raw, Matt Morgan would just disappear until he went to TNA and all that stuff. Number 10, stand back. There's a hurricane coming through. From Monday Night Raw, the hurricane. He comes in, and then quickly like that, he's out thanks to Matt Morgan, who eliminates him. Number 11 is the Booker Man, y'all. Can you dig it? Coming out to Booker T, coming out to his WWE Originals theme song. He comes in there. And I don't remember all the eliminations, they're just some important ones. Number 12, it's gotta be Kane. And as Kane makes his entrance, Steiner's eliminated by Booker T, I believe. So he's out. And they don't show it. They had to go back and show it from another camera view that he was eliminated. So, yeah. He ends out there and he's tearing things up and he's chokeslamming. And then number 13. Dong. Huh? Because if you don't know, Kane buried The Undertaker alive at Survivor Series during the Buried Alive match that Undertaker had with Mr. McMahon. So, yeah. But the gong goes off. Kane gets eliminated by Booker T. And out comes Spike Dudley. And he gets chokeslammed on the steel entrance ramp, and Spike's just gone. He doesn't get in the match. He's just gone. He's out. Because somehow Kane thinks that Spike did it to throw him off. I don't know. It's eventually revealed it was The Undertaker, and their simple match for WrestleMania, so there's that. Number 14 is Rikishi, who gives a stink face to Matt Morgan. And JR says, welcome to the Royal Rumble, rookie. To which Taz replies, welcome to Rikishi's ass, rookie. Yeah. Number 15, Rene Dupree. Yeah, I'm a French man. Do the French dance. The French tickler. Rene Dupree, who was on Raw at this point. Rikishi was on SmackDown. And he comes out, and he's not in long either. He's eliminated pretty quick. But he eliminates... Who is it? Someone. He eliminates someone. Maybe he doesn't... I think he eliminates someone. I don't know who it was. Is it? That's not Booker, is it? He eliminates someone, and he's doing the French dance. And behind him, Rikishi is kind of doing a sort of dance behind him, and then kicks him and knocks him out of the ring. So, number 16 is A-Train. I could be a train. That's not Braun Strowman. A-Train comes out, and he's a house of fire. And then number 17, Shelton Benjamin, who comes out to the world's greatest tag team theme song, because that's what it was at the time, with Charlie Haas. And yeah. Number 18, the ring is cleared off at this point. Everyone's eliminated but Benoit and Orton. That's it. They're laying in the ring. They have a headbutt, and they fall onto the ring. As the buzzer goes off, number 18, out comes Lamont. Who the hell is Lamont, you're saying? Well, Lamont is the manager and helper of one Ernest the Cat Miller, who comes out to somebody call my mama. Hey, somebody call my mama. Hey, somebody call my mama. That's right. Brodus Clay did not originate that song. It was originated by and for Ernest the Cat Miller, who was notable for coming out to a sort of James Brown type song for WCW. But he was a color commentator for WWE Velocity along with Josh Matthews. And his catchphrase was, somebody call my mama. And so when he came back after taking a hiatus, they changed this to his theme song. And so they did a thing where he would come out and dance. And he was in this. And yeah, he does a little dance, and then they're both thrown out. Benoit goes to eliminate Lamont. His wig flies off, and then eliminates Lamont, and Orton eliminates the Cat, and there's that. Next up is Kurt Angle, number 19 for SmackDown, who dedicated this to the troops over in Iraq. As maybe he doesn't win, but this is a good triple threat thing. I shouldn't. We're gonna go back because there's a moment where I think it's Orton and someone else are trying to eliminate Benoit. Benoit headbutts Orton, and Orton sells it like he got knocked senseless. It's fantastic. This is earlier in the match, though. Number 20. You look so good to me. It's Rico. He comes out, and he's pretty much eliminated quick anyway. He starts the fight against Kurt Angle, and he gets thrown out. And number 21. This is the test. This is the test. It's test. But he doesn't come out. What's going on? Where is he? No one's coming out. Cut to the back. Test is laid out. You got Tony Garea, Chad Patton, and Brian Hebner there checking him out. Stone Cold yelling at someone, saying, well, what'd you do? Huh? That's my number 23 entrant. No, you're my number 21. That's a 23. Number 21 entrant. You're number 21. No, now! Tell him to get in the ring. Who is it? It's Mrs. Foley's baby boy. Mick Foley is here. And much like Hardcore Holly in the WWE Championship match, he does not get two shits about the Royal Rumble because he comes in, goes after Orton, and eliminates both himself and Orton at the same time to go after Orton. And there's a big old schmaz fight. I took a piss at this point. And, because I'd seen this. And they're fighting out. And at one point, Orton goes to get Sacco, but it's time for the next entrant, number 22. Before this, during this, Christian comes out. I forgot about it. Number 22 is Christian. It's Christian. He comes out, and then they're still fighting at ringside. They're more focused. Christian comes in, but no one could care because they're focused on Orton and Foley at ringside. Then they get to the ramp. Foley goes to get Mr. Sacco, and then Nunzio comes out. And Nunzio gets Mr. Sacco and knocked down. But unlike Spike, he actually competes in Rumble because he sits on the side until number 28 comes out. So he comes out number 23. And he stays at ringside until number 28 comes out. But Orton's able to get away from Foley when he kicks him in the balls. A lot of ball shots tonight. And runs off. Number 25. Well, it's the Big Show. The biggest man in the match is here. Arguably. I think he's heavier than Rikishi. He comes out and he is just, choke slams. And he is dominant. He eliminates Christian, I think. No. He eliminates someone? Maybe he doesn't. I thought he did. No. He's a House of Fire, though, doing this. Going out there. Number 25 is Chris Jericho, who sometimes teams up with Christian. And his name would say, his sometimes tag team partner, Christian, which, this is on the road to WrestleMania where the whole Trish Stratus thing was happening, so, yeah. Number 27, someone I forgot was going to be in this match. They announced he was coming back, but I forgot. It's Billy Gunn. I'm an ass man. Oh, Billy Gunn. I was I was like, okay, I know that John Cena, RVD, and Goldberg are left. Who's pardon me. Sorry about that. Phlegm. It's a good thing, though. It's a good thing. Um, so I knew that John Cena, RVD, and Goldberg were left. I'm like, who's the other guy? Totally forgot about Billy Gunn. And he's kind of inconsequential. He comes out there, gives famous search to people, and then eventually just gets eliminated. Number 28 is John Cena. Also for SmackDown, like Billy Gunn, excuse me. And he comes out, and he notices Nunzio, and he's like, and he throws Nunzio's gun. Get out of here. So Cena throws him in the ring, and Nunzio and Big Show go off on Cena. And at one point, Nunzio tries to fight Big Show. He gets a big slap to the chest. And eventually gets eliminated. Cena gets thrown out at one point. I think it's after RVD. RVD comes out number 29. Cena gets thrown out. He hurts his MCL, but not big enough injury because he goes to WrestleMania, wins the United States Championship. RVD is now in. And then Goldberg comes in. Goldberg comes in. He's spearing everyone, man. He's just spearing everyone. And then Brock Lesnar shows up, hits him with an F5 because it's obvious that with Goldberg in the match, he was the one set to win it. He could tear everyone apart. He could win it. So we got to do something to make sure he doesn't. Lesnar comes in, hits him with an F5. He's eliminated by Kurt Angle, I think, or Christian Jericho, one of the two. So he's out. But he's stomping after Lesnar. So he's gone. Eventually, he's down to the final four, which are RVD, Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, the final four is RVD, Kurt Angle, Big Show, and Chris Benoit. RVD's eliminated. Angle's eventually eliminated. He's kind of, who do you want me to pick? You're trying to get Big Show out. He's eliminated. So it's down to Big Show, Benoit, and eventually Benoit eliminates Big Show with the slowest apron DDT ever. He wins, and then he's going on to WrestleMania. After this, Benoit would go on to face Triple H for the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania, which, okay, I don't get it. Because the whole thing with Benoit was, Heyman said he would never get a WWE Championship match ever again. Which is true, because he goes for the world title, and then he competes for the United States title on SmackDown later, but never, I don't think, gets a WWE title match. Maybe a world title match, I don't know. But he never, no. And then, yeah. Yeah, so what was the point? Like, he wanted to prove he could do it. Why didn't he get the WWE title match? Because they didn't have that in the plans. I've always thought that the Eddie Guerrero thing was kind of last minute. Like, they found out Brock's leaving at WrestleMania, so we can't have Brock versus Goldberg for the title. So what are we going to do? So maybe they knew it here. Maybe Brock's like, hey, I'm leaving after Mania. But then, okay, we'll just have Goldberg take it from me. And they're like, well, Goldberg's leaving after WrestleMania too. It's like, So what are we going to do? We have Benoit win. Because maybe Goldberg was going to win. And challenge, I don't know. It's very hard to try to figure out what their initial plan was. But I don't think Eddie Guerrero was in those initial plans. But overall, the Royal Rumble 2004 is getting an A from me. Overall, I think it's a solid pay-per-view. Quick matches at the beginning. The only problem I have is the finish to the last man standing match. But it's such a brutal and fantastic match before that, I can't really fault it for that. So, yeah. It's one of the great ones. Unfortunately forgotten due to who won the Royal Rumble match itself. So, there's that. But what are your thoughts on the Royal Rumble 2004? Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.